Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Extra Credit Podcast here at the Jefferson County JVS. You all know this is getting to know the people behind the programs, and we are coming to you from the winter wonderland that is the multimedia room in the Jefferson County JVS in Bloomingdale, Ohio. How is everybody doing out there? I am joined with some extra special guests this week.
Jamie Freeman. I run the criminal justice program here at the JVS.
Excellent.
I'm Ron Reasoner. I'm the auto service technology instructor here at the JVS.
Tamala Marshall. I am a science instructor.
Awesome. So, how are you guys doing?
So far, so good.
Yeah. It's a little weird for everybody.
Awesome.
A little bit different change of pace from what we're used to.
Right. I'm trying to bring everybody into the 21st century.
Awesome.
So, getting to use more technology, that's a lot of fun. So this is technically our special holiday episode. It's also our second episode, but, it just happens to be the holiday season. How do you guys, celebrate with your students, if you celebrate with your students?
We do a fill the stockings, so I buy them all stockings, and each student is responsible to buy enough of some sort of product, candy, hand sanitizer, chapstick, whatever they want for each student, and they fill those stockings, and then they get to take them home with them on Friday.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't do anything like that.
Me neither.
Yeah, I was about to say, I do nothing.
I am so lame.
She instantly made me feel like a terrible teacher.
We're planning a class social Monday. We're going to have a pizza party for the students. We voted on that during our class meeting yesterday, so I think that's how we're going to celebrate just before the holiday.
I usually do something along those lines. As long as they have their work done, we'll do a social as well. I like that, we do a potluck style, and typically I bring in video games, and I obliterate them. And I have not been beaten by a student in my entire year,
Awesome.
or all my years here. So, I've got a legacy to uphold.
That's
and
pretty good.
One day somebody's going to
And
beat
a
me.
challenge.
I know. It's going to be terrible the day that one of them actually beats me.
Break out the Pac-Man.
I am so competitive. I don't know if you guys are like that, if you compete with your students in anything, but do you ever, can you handle letting them win with anything?
Oh, yeah.
I can. I like to see them do well, but a lot of times it's just the opposite. When they need a little help, I'll go up to them, and they may have struggled on something for a little bit, and I go up and there it is, we're done. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of satisfaction there, just kind of laugh it off a little bit and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Do you anything with your students?
Unfortunately, no. I have 140, so that would be
Wow.
a lot.
That's
if
a good
I
point.
wanted to individually do something with them.
I don't ever think about that. It's so different being an academic teacher compared to being a vocational teacher. I mean, you have 140 students, and I do not.
Yeah.
My 30, I can really get to know each and every one of them. So, I learn how to push their buttons, and I'm the same way, though, Mr. Reasoner. I take a lot of sick satisfaction in being able to complete something, and I always let them struggle a bit first. And then I'll come over and it's like, well, it was this easy.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
That's where satisfaction comes in, though, for
absolutely.
both. Yeah.
Though, I think it helps them learn, too, if it's almost like my slight teasing kind of implants that memory.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they're like, oh, it's this easy. Miss LaRue's going to make fun of me if I mess this up again. And I will. I absolutely will.
A lot of times when we can do a task so easily compared to them, I think that inspires them like, wow, I want to be that guy, and lets them try a little bit harder.
Right. I hopefully, that's what they rise to the challenge. That's what I'm trying to get them to do. I'm always challenging them. And, I mean, to be fair, though, no matter how hard they try, they're never going to be better than me. That's the way I look at it. Because no matter how much experience they get, I'm going to also keep growing. So
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly.
So what do you guys do over the holidays? Do you have any plans? Looking forward to anything in particular?
We have swim meets and swim practice, and that's pretty much what we do all holiday because both of my kids swim on a swim team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Fun.
that makes me happy that I don't have kids.
Yeah, should.
Yeah.
You
'Cause I-
become mom taxi or dad taxi.
Yeah, I sleep a lot.
Be nice.
So I've only been teaching about 6-7 years now, which I guess isn't, a short amount of time, but I'm not a 30-year veteran or anything like that. But do you guys feel the same way that I do, that just about every year getting to this point, that burnout starts to set in? And I'm just like, oh, I can't wait.
Oh yeah, mine started a
yeah.
few weeks, or no, actually a couple months ago. No, not really, but I feel exactly the same. The closer we get to the holiday, it's like, oh my God, we're 3 days away. 3 days feels like 3 months, but either way, we'll get there.
And it's hard as a teacher not to want to let your students know that, because then you guys all start feeding off each
Oh, yeah.
other. You
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah.
And that's where the discipline comes
Yeah.
in, of trying to push forward and staying busy and keeping things going. I have such a hard time sometimes. Then this morning, just like every other day, sponsored by caffeine, because without it'd be rough.
Oh, definitely.
I hate to be so basic, but it kind of is true. When you walk through here in the morning, every teacher is just like, hey, good morning, and just kind of dead.
Except for me.
That's true. You're very
I
positive
am the
all
morning
time.
greeter.
That's true. You get to, everybody sees your bright shining face in the mornings.
Oh, yeah. I probably annoy them, though. There's that lady again. God, she's too happy.
I hear nothing but good things from students coming from you. It's like, even when you yell at people, I think people appreciate it. It's stuff of legend. They're like, oh, Miss Marshall lost it on somebody the other day. Which,
Cool.
you got to appreciate your
Oh, yeah.
legacy as being like 120 pounds, but the scariest person in the building.
I do. And the voice, just covers the whole thing up.
Right. Hey, Mr. Reasoner, I would think that you are super busy at this time of year. I know I've personally bothered you with my vehicle several times. You got to think like people's tires are constantly breaking down with the weather getting colder, and
Yeah, that's for sure. That's what we're seeing the most of right now is low tire conditions. Most cases, it's a result of rim corrosion with the aluminum rims. They like to oxidize. And as you go over bumps and that type of thing, the bead flexes before you know it. You lose a little air here and there, especially if you're going over terrain, kind of like going to my house. And that's our most common thing right now is really tire repairs. And I think you were a big part of that lesson the other day.
yeah, unfortunately. You said going over terrain, that's pretty much Ohio and everywhere.
Some worse than other places, but yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, we just switched students. So I taught his kids CPR and first aid, and mine learned how to change oil and change tires on cars so that
that's
they have
awesome.
that opportunity to learn from him and switched over. So that was really good for them. They really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a neat experience for sure. I think they liked it, and plus we got to teach them a little bit on something totally different than what they're normally used to.
Yep.
Right. That's really cool. I've always wanted to do that, especially with culinary. I'd like to swap places with culinary so I can, but I want to teach them the culinary bit. I want to swap teachers.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Let
There you
Mr.
go.
Zelensky come teach them how to use some of this equipment, and I want to teach them how to make smash burgers, because that's what I do in my spare time. Is I'm obsessed with like cooking videos and stuff online.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't want to make anything like fancy. That's the difference. I want to just be the guy who's really good at like 3 or 4 things. So if you invite me to a potluck or a cookout, you're like, oh, I hope he brings that thing. It's like, that'll be my thing. I don't really do much during the holidays other than, sleep. But it's just
Yeah.
me and my dog at home, so I don't have kids.
wonderful. You do have kids. Your dog.
That's
Yeah.
true. But usually when people say that, they're really sad and lonely.
Oh, no.
It's like, oh, my cats are my kids. It's like,
Well, Cody, I kind of keep my eye on the bird feeders. That's my big event. So lonely. I got some feathery friends during the holidays.
there
I
you
just
go.
kind of open the calendar and make it an easy time.
This is always a fun year, or a fun time of the year for me. Excuse me. Especially when you go to stores and you see like students out in the stores and they're like, "What are you doing here?" It's like, well, I exist. Like, I have a life. That's something I have always found strange, that students don't think of us as people, I
And
guess.
they check out what's in your grocery cart. Yeah.
I never thought about
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you have some kind of alcohol. They're like, ooh.
Yeah. Now I'm so much more self-conscious about it because I've never even
Oh, yeah.
considered. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Miss LaRue, how many bags of Doritos do you
Oh,
need?
yeah.
It's like, well, they had new flavors.
Try them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is also a time of the year for skills competitions. That's a big thing for us. I know my students just competed in BPA, which is, for those of you who don't know, Business Professionals of America. Not to brag, but, you know, we had a couple of teams win at regionals, and we're going to head off to the state competition in March.
And take first.
Hopefully. I've never had a team take first and go to nationals, and I would love to go to
This year.
California.
Yeah.
So, you know, my seniors who are currently running our podcast right now, hopefully will take us there. We actually have a podcast team as well of juniors, and they've been working very hard this year, so super proud of them. But I know, Ms. Reasoner, you are one of the advisors for Skills. And Jamie, do you do Skills,
We do.
or do you do anything else as well?
Nope, just Skills USA. And if they're regionals and nationals or anything like ours or like yours, it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, there's so many cool things, and you get so much stuff. Take an extra suitcase to pack all the free stuff they're going to give you in,
Love free
because
stuff.
they give you tons and tons. We come back the one year with Timberland boots because we helped with a bike trail that they were devising. So I had to buy a second suitcase when we were down there. So
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
That is
I mean,
awesome.
it's tons and tons of stuff that you get working. And hopefully it's just like Skills USA, because they give you a lot of really cool stuff. We haven't been there in a while, but
Yeah. No, I've never been to nationals, but that sounds good. So, can you guys give us an update on Skills? How's that going this year?
We just got back from our leadership conference this past month, and that was a big success. I think all the students that we took with us had a really good time, and the whole purpose of the conference was to focus on building leadership skills. I think it really helped all of them.
That's great.
my students that went had a blast. They had a really good time. They went to nice restaurants, so they had a really good time there. They said they got to go to the mall, and the meetings were actually interesting.
Yeah, I didn't hear any complaints. Everybody seemed to really like it.
That's the thing that I find pretty shocking. I didn't get to do anything like that in school, but it seems like the students really do have a great time. And the sound of that bell means that these teachers need to get back to their classes. So that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys for joining us.
for having
Remember
us.
to like,
Pleasure.
share, subscribe, visit us on YouTube, and watch any of the other shows that JVS has. Thanks.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.